Have you ever spent hours preparing for something, but never actually did it? You made the plan. You bought the notebook. You watched the tutorials. You researched until midnight. You told yourself, I just need to be ready. But ready never came. And somewhere between the planning and the preparing, the opportunity quietly closed its doors and walked away. Here is the truth nobody tells you about overthinking. It doesn't feel like fear. It feels like responsibility. It whispers. You're not ready yet. Do a little more research. Wait for the right moment. Prepare just a little longer. And you listen. Because it sounds so reasonable. But while you were preparing, someone less qualified got the promotion. While you were perfecting, someone less talented launched the business. While you were waiting to be ready, your best years slipped through your fingers dressed as caution. This is the story of Kellen. A girl who had everything it took to succeed. The intelligence, the skill, the vision. But she had one invisible enemy living inside her mind. And it never once looked like fear. Listen carefully until the end. Because this is not just Kellen's story. It might be yours. In a busy city firm, there was a young woman named Kellen. From the outside, she looked like someone going places. She was always the most prepared person in every meeting. Color-coded folders. Detailed notes. Thorough research on every topic. Her desk was a monument to preparation. Her colleagues admired her work ethic. Her managers noticed her dedication. Everyone agreed, Kellen was going to do something remarkable someday. But someday never arrived. Because every time an opportunity appeared, a promotion, a presentation, a new project to lead, Kellen did the same thing. She prepared. She researched more. She practiced longer. She revised her plans. She told herself she needed just a little more time to be truly ready. And while she prepared, someone else stepped forward and took what could have been hers. This happened once. Then twice. Then so many times that Kellen stopped counting. She couldn't understand it. She worked harder than anyone. She knew more than most. So why was everyone else moving forward while she stayed in the same place? She thought the problem was that she wasn't prepared enough. She never once considered that preparation itself had become her prison. Stay with me. Because somewhere in this story, you are going to see yourself. Not the version of you that you show the world, the version that keeps saying, I just need a little more time to prepare. This story is going to show you exactly what that habit is quietly costing you. And by the end, you will never see your preparation the same way again. If you are new here, subscribe and turn on notifications right now. Because we tell stories on this channel that hold up a mirror. And you do not want to miss what is coming next. Now let us begin. Kellen had not always been this way. As a young girl she was bold. Fearless even. She raised her hand first in class. She tried new things without hesitation. She failed sometimes, and got back up without drama. But something changed when she entered the professional world. The first time she gave a presentation at work, she stumbled over her words. A senior colleague corrected her in front of everyone. The room went quiet. She felt the heat of embarrassment rise from her chest to her face. That night she told herself, that will never happen again. Next time I will be so prepared that no one can question me. And so the cage was built. Not from weakness. From a single wound that never healed properly. She prepared obsessively for the next presentation. It went well. Her colleagues nodded. Her manager smiled. And her brain learned a dangerous lesson that day. Preparation equals safety. Action without full preparation equals humiliation. From that moment, every opportunity that came to Kellen went through the same process. Research. Plan. Revise. Rehearse. Doubt. Research again. Revise again. By the time she felt ready, the moment had passed. She called it being thorough. Her fear called it something else entirely. 3 years into her career, Kellen's company announced a new senior position. Everyone in the office knew Kellen deserved it. Her knowledge was deeper than anyone else's. Her work was consistently excellent. Even her manager had quietly hinted that she was the obvious choice. Kellen knew it too. But when the application opened, she hesitated. "My portfolio isn't strong enough yet," she told herself. "Let me spend 2 more weeks perfecting it." 2 weeks became 4. 4 weeks became 8. She rewrote her application 11 times. She researched every possible interview question. She practiced her answers in front of a mirror until she had them memorized perfectly. The application deadline arrived. Kellen's application was the most thoroughly prepared document she had ever produced. She never submitted it. Because on the morning it was due, she woke up and thought, what if it's still not good enough? And she let the deadline pass. A colleague named Saad, less experienced, less technically skilled, submitted her application that same morning. Imperfect. Incomplete in places. But submitted. Saad got the promotion. Kellen sat at her desk that afternoon surrounded by her perfect, unseen application, and felt something she had never allowed herself to feel before. Not just disappointment. Rage. At herself. Because somewhere deep beneath all the research and preparation and revision, she had always known the truth. It was never about being ready. It was about being afraid. That evening Kellen stayed late at the office. She sat alone in the empty building, the city glowing amber through the floor-to-ceiling windows, and she cried for the first time in years. An older woman found her there. Her name was Mrs. Osei. She had been with the company for 30 years. She was known for being direct, occasionally uncomfortable, and almost always right. She sat down across from Kellen without asking permission. "I watched you not submit that application," Mrs. Osei said simply. Kellen looked up. "You knew." Everyone knew. We were all waiting. Silence. "I wasn't ready," Kellen said quietly. Mrs. Osei looked at her for a long moment. "Kellen. I have watched you prepare for 3 years. I have never seen anyone more prepared in this building. Do you know what I have also never seen you do?" Kellen said nothing. "Act," Mrs. Osei said. "I have never once seen you act." She leaned forward. "Let me tell you something about fear. It is the world's most intelligent criminal. It never breaks down your door. It never announces itself. It walks in quietly dressed in your most reasonable thoughts. It sits at your desk and picks up your pen and writes your to-do lists and research plans and revision schedules. And the whole time it is robbing you, you think you are being responsible." Kellen felt something crack open in her chest. "Your preparation is not the problem," Mrs. Osei continued. "Your preparation is beautiful. But you have been using it as a wall. Not a bridge." She stood to leave. "The world does not reward the most prepared person, Kellen. It rewards the person who moves. Polish your work, but then release it. Because a gift kept in a box helps no one. Not even you. Kellen did not sleep that night. She lay in the dark and did something she had been avoiding for 3 years. She thought honestly about herself. Not about her plans. Not about her preparation. About her fear. She traced it back to that first presentation. To the senior colleague who corrected her. To the silence in the room. To the lesson her mind had drawn from that one moment and applied to every moment since. And she realized something devastating. She had let 1 minute of embarrassment design 3 years of her life. 1 minute. She thought about all the applications not submitted. All the ideas not pitched. All the meetings where she had the answer but stayed silent waiting to be more certain. She thought about Sod sitting in the office that was supposed to be hers. And then she thought about Mrs. Osei's words. A gift kept in a box helps no one. She sat up in the dark and opened her laptop. There was a new opportunity posted on the company's internal board. A project lead position. Applications closed in 72 hours. Kellen opened a new document. She started writing. Not perfectly. Not with complete certainty. With shaking hands and a loud heart and the full knowledge that it might not be good enough. She wrote anyway. She submitted it before sunrise. She did not get that position either. But something fundamental had changed. Because this time she had moved. And the world had not ended. The embarrassment she had been preparing against for 3 years had not destroyed her. She had tried, fallen short, and was still standing in the same body in the same office breathing the same air. The fear had promised her that failure would be catastrophic. It had lied. She applied for the next opportunity. And the next. Each time her preparation became a tool instead of a hiding place. She researched, then acted. She practiced, then performed. She revised, then released. Within 6 months her manager called her into his office. Not to discuss a missed deadline or an unsubmitted application. To offer her a leadership role on the firm's most important account. "You've changed," he said simply. "I don't know what happened. But whatever it is, keep doing it." Kellen smiled. She knew exactly what had changed. She had finally understood that fear dressed as preparation was still fear. And she had chosen to move anyway. This story teaches us something most people never discover until it is too late. Fear is not always loud. It is not always obvious. It does not always look like cowardice. Sometimes fear wears a suit and carries a clipboard. Sometimes it looks like diligence. Like perfectionism. Like wisdom. But underneath all the preparation, if you are honest with yourself, you know the difference between getting ready and hiding. Kellen knew. And so do you. Think about what you have been preparing for. The business plan you have been perfecting for 2 years. The conversation you have been rehearsing but never having. The application you keep revising but never submitting. The idea you keep developing but never launching. Is it preparation? Or is it fear, dressed beautifully, sitting at your desk using your own hands to keep you still? Because here is the truth. The world does not need your perfect version. It needs your present version. Imperfect. Uncertain. Moving. Done is more powerful than perfect. Action is more valuable than another revision. And the person who moves with 80% preparation will always outrun the person waiting for 100%. Kellen's best treasury was open the whole time. So is yours. The question is not whether you are ready. The question is whether you are willing to move before you feel ready. Because the feeling of readiness, for most people, never comes. Start anyway. Start today. Start now. If this story spoke to something inside you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Like this video if it moved you. And subscribe for more stories that hold up a mirror to the life we are quietly living. The comment I want you to leave today is this. What have you been preparing for but never started? Write it below. And commit to one small action today. Not tomorrow. Today. Thank you for supporting this channel.